Hello, DU Football Show. Ken here, Manchester United supporter. Just want to take an opportunity to let Mr. Graham know. Great season. Arsenal, second in the league. Bottled a second straight season. How many cups do you have? Because I think we just won our second one in 2 years, but I haven't checked my phone today, so if you could let me know how the FA Cup final finished, that'd be awesome. And you're listening to the DU Football Show.
Arsenal fans have another Sam, aka the fucking Gooner Graham. Smells of my lord, looks great in shorts. Sam Graham, hey!
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Not so easy to hit the post now, is it there, huh, big boy?
Or count, apparently.
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League. Actually, putting the bow on the English Premier League season, as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, he's got ideas. He's a talkative guy. He's got things to offer. Damn it, my co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. Doing well?
I'm doing very well.
Okay, good. What, is something very interesting in your phone there to start the
I
show?
just wanted to make sure. He said it was his second cup in 2 years. They won the League Cup last year right over Newcastle.
Yep, League Cup.
That one that no one gives a fuck about. It's played in February, sponsored by an Indian energy drink that's actually not available in England at all. That cup? Is that what he meant?
I saw it in Pompey.
I never. Oh, in
the
Pompey.
first-
Yeah, I was very drunk.
Everything's available in Pompey.
There's probably black market stuff that, honestly. Yeah, I mean, he's still got one less FA Cup than us anyway. Not really worried about that.
We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your pods. And, of course, streaming live for one last time for this before the summer break on every Monday night. Should you want to chat with us, there's many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
It's at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Excellent. So I like what Mel was trying to do there, to get him to do an intro that would take up the entire time.
No, I didn't try to do that. No, I did not try to do that. That's just what he did. And then I had him do another one, and I'm like, how about we do it again in like 10 seconds? But I thought the long one would be funny, and I thought I had it timed out, and I fucked it up twice because while we were waiting for me to pull it, I actually added the tagline, and so I was right on my timing the first time. And it would have hit perfectly if I hadn't messed with it.
Gotcha.
And it all would have been better if I had remembered and not been too concerned about my new best friend. So, again, my apologies.
Now
Sam
it's
Houston.
Greg's fault.
Now it's Greg Garcia's fault.
Jesus.
Fuck Greg.
Wants to come in here, not talk soccer, and he fucked up the intro.
What are you going to do?
Thanks, Greg.
Who is Greg Garcia?
Find him on Twitter. I just asked that question.
Hey, producer Mel, maybe you should leave hitting the post to the fucking professionals.
I think so.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Mr. Graham, one more time with the gin binge. What are we sipping on tonight?
So this is the Koval dry gin, handmade in Chicago, distilled from organic grains. Actually, Sam, I'll let you take this one over because you sold this a lot longer and more than I did. I will tell you that it is 94 proof, though.
Ted's driving the bus.
And I'll let you take it from here.
Well, I am actually been to the distillery when I was in Chicago proper. Back when I worked with Bacchus, I got a chance to meet the husband and wife duo that own the brand. Robert Burtnecker is known very well for his work in stills. The Kota still, which is the hybrid copper pot column still that almost all of your traditional craft houses use. He has done 120 of them.
Nice.
Across the country. This gin, for me, very straightforward, very juniper, very old world. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't
it is,
have
100%.
that... Doesn't have that new world, let's hide from the juniper type of style to it.
Yep. It is quite good though.
Yeah, and we're doing it with a here it is, the Busby's elderflower tonic water. So it's the brand that Total does.
Nice.
But, I figured something a little sweeter.
That's not
No, Betty Buzz is
that's right.
is Blake Lively's brand, in which we've already done one of those.
Oh
with
yeah,
our,
Betty Buzz. That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I only remembered the Betty part. I forgot Buzz was at the end of that.
Yeah, what do you think of the gin, Mr. Graham?
I think it's delicious. Actually, it's a much better quality version of Beefeater in my mind. Kind of just off that first sip, neat. It's quite good. And it is a like as you say, a very big throwback to that sort of very traditional London Dry style gins.
Yeah, agreed. Very much.
I like
agreed.
it.
Yeah.
Koval is actually one of the first craft distilleries in the country.
Yes, it
by
was.
the way.
Yep.
And for those that didn't know,
Everybody's got a lot going on.
Got a lot going on over here.
Everybody does. Every single one of us
still
does.
offended.
And of course, we also got to try the lovely canned coffee. That
Yes,
brought
the
in.
Malort coffee.
I'm not going to spoil it.
Pretty good.
Really
So
good.
it was from, if you missed sound check, which you can find at patreon.com/DFootballShow.
Good whore.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. It was aggressive.
Which, by the way, now that I'm paying attention to all of the comments, they've all stopped making them.
Okay, that's good.
This is from Dark Matter Coffee in Chicago. Friend of mine that I'm in the other fantasy league with, the paid league with Joe, my Gooner friend, and a lot of his college buddies. A guy named Reed sent this to us. He lives in Illinois. Dark Matter Coffee from Chicago did a cold brew that was conditioned in Malort barrels. So it was actually quite good. It was interesting. I got one more can of it. He
Very
sent
bitter.
two.
Very, very bitter.
Yeah, I didn't want us to be awake all night, so I only cracked one.
No,
and we shared it.
Completely agree with that. It's a perfect way to do things. What else should we always do, Mr. Graham?
Always remember to drink responsibly. What was that?
I was afraid of coming in too hot. Let me try again.
Fuck's sake. Waiting for the day you do that, and then both of these just shatter.
That's what I was afraid of.
They weren't laughing with you, Mel. They were laughing at you. Just want to say that. All the comments dried up because now they know you're looking. The season may be over, but there were 2 matches this weekend that would shape the Premier League for next season.
Were there?
Yeah, well, they weren't really matches, but there were results. There were results that will shape the Premier League for next season. Manchester United 2, Manchester City 1 in the FA Cup final. Southampton 1, Leeds 0 in the Championship promotion final. Hard to really feel good about this match at all, the FA Cup final, right? Because it's like, if City win, it's like, fuck, City win another title. And then if United win, which they did, you're like, they get rewarded for bad behavior. They still get to go to fucking Europe. They still get to go to fucking Europe.
I honestly, I would have felt better if City had won it, because that would have meant the, super underdog Saudi Arabia would have reached European football for a second season running in Newcastle.
Right.
I feel bad for my boy Allen, but other than that, no, there was no good outcome. It was all shit.
Sean Bailey wants to know if Maidstone had won the cup, but they had gone to Europe.
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
The only thing is I believe, I'm 99% sure of this, the Welsh teams that play in England, so like Swansea and Cardiff, I think they may have changed it, but when they first agreed to play in England, they forfeited their right to qualify for Europe through the English league system or cup competitions. I think that's accurate.
Mm-hmm.
They may have changed that rule.
Right.
But the FA Cup winner plays in the Europa League. If famously you remember that Wigan got relegated, beating Manchester City years ago in the FA Cup final, 1-0.
Yep.
City had, I believe, 92% possession or some shit.
Lost their manager, Roberto Martinez, to Everton, got relegated, and went to Europe.
And played in the Europa League. Yep. Exactly right. So yes, the winner of the FA Cup, no matter what tier they're in, does play. Like I said, they may have changed it for those Welsh clubs, but those are the only teams that I am aware of that would not be allowed to compete in European competition. Like I said, that may have changed, but I know that used to be a rule at least.
Did City even really take this seriously? Because it sure as fuck didn't look like they did.
It did
especially
not.
That first goal. It was sloppy.
Yeah, it looked just like a little bit of panic. I mean, it was from United's point of view, it was kind of a hit and hope. Maybe somebody gets on the end of this. And it was Garnacho or somebody that was running onto it.
Garnacho is the one who scored, yeah.
That scored, yeah. But I think it was him that was running onto it. They just seemed to. It was like the perfect storm. Ortega didn't call for it. Vardiol didn't know where Ortega was and tried to head it back to him. He was already out of the box though, so even if he handled it, it would have been a yellow and a free kick.
Right.
It was very strange. The whole situation. I haven't really seen City ever panic like that before.
As an Arsenal supporter, were you just like screaming inside going, why the fuck couldn't you guys do that just once in the regular season?
Against Tottenham or
mistake?
Well, especially in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, just one. Just
the
one
only
mistake.
thing that happened, the only chink in their armor was a worldie from Kudus.
Yeah, like that's
it.
Like that was it. Like really, seriously,
fucking annoying.
Couldn't have fucked it off just once.
Yeah.
You couldn't have had that lack of communication one time.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. But yeah, it was really strange. This was probably the worst Manchester City performance I think I've seen since Pep's first season.
Yeah, because the worst one prior to that would be the 4-0 loss at Everton. That's the one where Tom Davies and Lookman. Yeah, that would probably, because that was the one where Davies literally went down the entire fucking field. He went 70 yards by himself.
European final hat-trick hero, Ademola Lookman.
Yeah, exactly.
For Atalanta. To hand Leverkusen their first loss of the season on Wednesday night.
Only loss of the season. In
yeah,
fact.
that's right. Because Saturday they finished the Pokal. They 1-0 after going. They made it hard for themselves. They went down to 10 men just before halftime. But yeah, this was probably the absolute worst performance I've seen out of them since his first season. I mean, they were sloppy. They were all over the place. They were giving the ball away left, right, and center. Now they probably still had 70% of the ball, but United seemed content to let them have it and somehow stayed organized. And I have an idea why. Mm-hmm. They put defenders in defense. Imagine that.
Go figure.
No 104-year-old Casemiro back there, and look what you do.
That game, I think, could have changed drastically if early in the second half, that ball from Holland goes in the back of the net
instead of the crossbar. Yeah,
I think that game completely changes. But after that, like, honestly, the better opportunities throughout the entire game went to United. Like, United played a good game. United deserved to win it.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a good game. I call it a good game plan.
Right. There you go. Good game plan. They executed
what they had to do perfectly.
Yeah.
Which is probably the first time this season you could say that. Because how many times have they fucked it off this season?
Right.
Now, granted, they have had a ton of injuries. I think they used something ridiculous like 21 different center back pairings throughout the course of the season, which is crazy, honestly. But a club like Manchester United, you should be big enough to cope with it. And they just weren't. Eric Ten Hag did not manage it well. He's moving people around, tinkering with the system too much. And it just it didn't work out this season for him. That's what, like, okay, you won the FA Cup. That's grand. You still have one less than us, Ken. Actually, we're still the record holders. It's still our trophy. Okay, for the time being, and they've only won 7 more first divisions than we have, and 13 of those 20 that they've won were Premier League titles.
Right.
Only 3 of ours were.
Right.
So I reckon prior to the Premier League, we were at 10, y'all were at 7. So throughout the course of history, we're a bigger club than Manchester United. That's all I'm saying.
You said they had 7?
Well, they've won 20 league titles. 13 of those were in the Premier League era under Ferguson.
By that rationale, we won 9 before the Premier League.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So and we have 13 league titles.
Note to self.
We've only won 3.
Are massive. Okay, thank you.
We've only won 3 Premier Leagues, so 10, 9, 7.
Yeah.
You're actually bigger than Manchester United also.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Fucking
that's exactly
pussies.
what I was getting at.
Fucking pussies.
Do we think Ten Hag is going to be the coach next year?
I hope so. I really hope so. His prickliness in interviews I enjoy. Honestly, the Dutch abrasiveness is fun on a regular basis. The kind of all over the place and overthinking of the lineup is enjoyable. The banishment of players for being late and other no real reasons is enjoyable. I really hope so, because if they get somebody in that knows half the fuck what they're doing, that's just another team to worry about at the top, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Now, the other fun thing, I don't want to get too much into the interview afterwards and Sharon and all them kind of grilling him. But one of the things they did bring up was like, what if you get sacked? He goes, I'll do what I just did here. I'll go to another club and win trophies.
Yeah, it's a fucking mic drop. I like it.
I mean, he's not wrong. This is one of those finals. I was like, can just like nobody win? Can we just go back? Can we go back and let Coventry City win, who should have won and should have been in the final anyways?
I was on the way to Mount Airy to do a tasting for the last about 25 minutes of this game, and you know how they read. I've got XM, so they do the Talk Sport feed, so the British radio feed on XM of the game. And as I was listening to it, one of the announcers, they always read tweets out and stuff like during the or X's out on during the game,
right.
And said it's an Arsenal supporter tweeted in and was like, I don't really care who wins. I'm an Arsenal supporter. I kind of just wish the ground under Wembley would open up and swallow the whole stadium, just like. Completely fuck it off.
Yep, exactly.
Because they're like you said, there's no real winner there.
No, there just isn't.
Yeah.
There just isn't.
For the rest of us, there's no real winner when those two come head to head.
I think we're all cheated anyways because of Coventry. Yes, producer Mel, you got something for us?
Yeah, some commentary in the comments. You know how that
Sewing
goes.
circle.
Yeah, sewing circle. And Scott's joined it too, so I guess he's joining the sewing circle. He says, bring back Anthony for the sheer comedy.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, Billy, the rambling, nonsensical post-match interviews. Taylor Thompson. Or should Man U check themselves before they Eric themselves? Check themselves before they wreck themselves.
Taylor?
Erect themselves.
Taylor?
Eric themselves. It really
It's
doesn't
not your
work.
best work there,
no,
Chief.
No,
Taylor,
the rhyme is not good. Like in writing, maybe. Shh.
Taylor, do better.
Bruce Day is not happy.
Yeah. That's
Bruce
a callback.
Day's not happy at all. And then the
Somebody
stages,
hashtag this video Bruce Day in the comments, please. See if he finds it one day. I'd love for him to get in touch.
just be like, Bruce Day, bitch.
Yeah, maybe we can do a dual interview on Sunday. Bruce Day and Greg, that'd be awesome.
I don't know if you'd be able to handle Bruce Day there, Sam.
No, I'd be able to handle it big time. Yeah, I'd have a massive boner while doing it
Get
too.
all up in your emotions.
I mean,
and stuff.
don't dare me. I would get stoned and drunk one of these nights and actually do it. How do you think I got a hold of Greg Garcia? I was so drunk. I was like, yeah, fuck it. Greg's going to respond to me. And then he did.
So the stage was set for Sunday for what is widely considered one of the most important games in all of football. Certainly the most important game in English football.
The most expensive game in football because the television rights garner at least, what is 148 million, 20th
right
place
around
guy?
there. Yep.
So no other team stands to make as much money for finishing dead last next season
So
than
it
the
was
winner of the championship playoff final.
Third place Leeds versus fourth place Southampton. You don't typically see that. Normally, one of the lower teams is who normally works their way in. I think Luton was a 5 seed last season. It's just how it tends to work out a lot of times. Something that's worth noting, and we've talked about it before, but for those who haven't heard us talk about it, this is never a good game.
Oh, it sucks.
The teams are way too tense. They're way too tight.
It's stodgy.
It is never a good game,
So
and
ju-
this one was not a good game either.
Just to give you an idea of what's at stake, Southampton, obviously got relegated last season, right? So they had their parachute payments from the FA. The board kind of
Likewise with Leeds.
well, right. But the Southampton specifically kind of came out and said, in the build up to this game, that if they were not to get promoted, they would have to sell $100 million worth of talent this summer.
Wow.
Which could decimate them. And this is exactly what happened to them when they were relegated in 2005. Now, if you remember correctly, in 2005, they sold a shit ton of players. They were stuck in the championship for a couple of seasons, actually went down to League One, and through their academy were able to come back up and then make it to the Premier League again. And I believe it was a 12-year absence. I may have inflated that a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was somewhere between 7 and 12. I don't recall exactly.
Well, their last stint in the Premier League was 11 seasons long.
Okay, so then it had to be 7 seasons then that they were down. So it's one of those things where those parachute payments can actually contribute to disparity in the championship as well, right? But in 2005, it didn't. So they had to sell players. They had when they went down, and they ended up being decimated to the point over a couple of seasons where they went down to League One. And this is a hugely important game for all of those reasons. There's a lot of players on Leeds that do have Premier League experience. Now, Leeds are better off financially than Southampton are, but is somebody going to pick up Willie Nanto? Maybe.
Yeah.
He's a decent
Somerville. I think somebody's grabbing Somerville.
Absolutely. I mean, they're decent backups to whoever any Premier League team has, to be honest.
Go ahead.
Question from one Mr. Taylor Thompson. Leeds, they aren't in the Prem. I thought they were never fucking leaving.
See, better. Thank you, Taylor. Better.
I heard.
Hey, Taylor, I'm proud of you.
Oh God! All right, hold on.
He said earlier, disappointing the Sams, meh. Disappointing Bruce Day, crushing blow.
I mean, it would be because it's a crushing blow that you would receive from Bruce Day.
Goddamn right. He'd be all over that with the back of his throat.
Exactly.
I mean, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Leeds never got out of first gear, man.
No, Southampton, again, much like United, kind of seemed content to just let Leeds have the ball and remain organized. First shot on target, obviously, goal. And that's all the game needed, really, because Leeds had, I think, one very early chance. And I thought they looked okay for the first about 20 minutes. But once Southampton settled in and got comfortable in their shape, Leeds really didn't create much until late in the second half when they were really trying to push and turn a screw.
Yeah, the one from Daniel James, the one off the post. That was really about it.
Yeah, but I mean, they worried Southampton a few times in that second half, late on when they were getting desperate. From about 76, 77 minutes on, they had a couple of opportunities. Now the final ball lacked, or was a relatively easy save from the goalkeeper here or there. But yeah, I mean, ultimately Southampton were just comfortable. I mean, it just they didn't really need to go crazy.
So Southampton, when they went down, the one thing we recognized about them going out of the Premier League is that they were a very, very young team, and they kept a decent amount of those players. So now they're coming back up. Well, what do we think? I mean, my big glaring issue with them is Shea Adams and Armstrong are not going to be the answer. They are perfectly good goal scorers in the championship. They've proved that time and time again.
The Huckabee zone, as we like to call it.
They aren't Premier League goal scorers.
David Nugent zone. That was another one.
Yeah, they're going to have to pull off like what Solanke did and came back up and actually started scoring goals. I'm not sure either one of them can, personally.
Not on a regular basis, at least. I think when they went down last season, I think both of them had just under 10 goals each. Which is not good enough. To win the league, you need one 20-goal scorer, typically. Right. And then you have to supplement that with 10s and 7s and 8s around that player.
Yeah.
And Southampton's biggest problem, I mean, of course, at that end of the table, it's always going to be a problem scoring goals unless you're Luton Town, apparently.
Right.
But I could see them going for somebody like Adebayo. But they're going to need to supplement their strike force. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Especially because Adam Armstrong doesn't seem to be the brightest tool in the shed. I don't know if you saw this, but there was a throw-in given on about 92 minutes. Referee blew the whistle, and he took his shirt off, started waving around his head.
Yeah.
Game's not over, man.
Didn't blow the whistle. Game's not done.
Should have been carded.
Yeah.
Wasn't.
Didn't get carded.
Referee gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, just you're a little thick in the skull there, friend.
Yeah. And then he did it again on the actual full-time whistle, just resumed his celebrations.
I'm going topless, damn it. All right, so here's the final thought for this, and then let's get into all the fun prediction stuff. First thought, the three teams that are coming up, who survives, who goes down?
I think Leicester have the best chance of staying up.
Yeah, there's a whole summer, obviously, tons of transfers.
Yep.
Who's going to get pillaged from your team? You have no idea, right? But
Yeah.
this is just a first reaction.
So first initial thought is Leicester will be safe.
Mm-hmm.
Initial thought. I think there's going to be a lot of kind of Burnley-Luton vibes about both Southampton and Ipswich. I think they're both going to try to give decent accounts of themselves. I think Southampton are better equipped to stay up than Ipswich are, but I think both of them are going to be in trouble if they can't work out a striking situation by the end of the summer.
Yeah, I think Ipswich is going to be like Blackpool. They're going to come out swinging at the start of the season and take some scalps, but I think they're ultimately going back down.
Their manager also apparently rejected an offer from Chelsea.
Wow.
So he could be staying. It seems as though he will be staying, at least at time of recording, which is a huge boost to them. There's gonna be a sense of camaraderie around just that decision, even more so than, hey, we finished second, we're going into the new season, this will be great. Now the manager's rejected one of the biggest jobs in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's that bought into us. That's going to be more of a togetherness kind of vibe.
Fair,
you know what I mean?
I don't think the talent's going to be there, though, to ultimately hang.
No, and I don't think the money's there either to really supplement that squad is necessary. There are going to be a lot of loans, I reckon, to try to get some Premier League experience in to help them stay up. It's going to be tough for them. I think they're probably going to be a very valiant 19th, ultimately.
Yeah.
Like I said, and Southampton are better equipped. Just from the way this season ended, if Nuno were to leave, for instance, I think Forest really have to worry.
Yeah.
If he stays, I think they'll be safe.
Yeah.
Brentford didn't have a great season.
Nope.
I'd be concerned if they lose and not replace.
Who does Palace lose?
I'd worry
Who does
for them.
Everton lose? It's
going to be interesting again. There's probably 5 or 6 teams that have a realistic shot of going down if they can't supplement their squads in the summer.
What do you got for us, producer?
Sure, Billy's wondering if Leicester might lose their coach to Chelsea.
It could. De Zerbi's already parted ways with Brighton.
Yeah.
And I know he was earmarked by Chelsea, could be earmarked by United as well.
Yeah.
So that's a question. Now, he did say that he was going to go watch a lot of football and smoke a lot of cigarettes, like I said a couple of weeks ago when the announcement was made.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they can pry him away from Maurizio Sarri's couch, but it's possible.
I think the big thing that has to be recognized is that who is coming up is a drastic difference from the 3 teams that came up.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
It is the final show of the season, Mr. Graham, and it is that time for us to rate our 5 best and 5 worst. Well, we're going to do 5 worst first, 5 best second.
Sounds good.
And then our preseason predictions. Mr. Graham, what are our preseason predictions? I'll give the scores and everything, but just give an overview of what it is every year.
Absolutely. So our preseason predictions are we try to predict position 1 through position 20. Straight league table, where everybody's going to finish. Obviously, you get a point for each one as we go through. And then the winner at the end will tally up their points. We also do 4 other categories. That is the top goal scorer, so the Golden Boot winner for the Premier League. We do the first manager sacked. We do the FA Cup winner and a dark horse, which is obviously subjective. There could be 2 or 3 answers.
There'd be 5 because FA Cup, League Cup.
Oh, and League Cup.
Yeah. You never did League Cup, huh? Last year you didn't do Dark Horse.
No, it was fucking Liverpool. Who cares?
Again, admin are not our strong
Fuck
suit.
'em.
Oh, good.
Well,
you got it wrong.
I can tell you what. I'll get it wrong. I would not have picked Liverpool.
Right. I didn't pick Liverpool, so we're fine. So we both got that one wrong. Here's the key thing to note, everybody. We've been doing this. We are now coming up on our 6th year, so it would be 150. But up until this point, for 5 years, a possible 125 points we could have. The current score is 14-13, Graham, and he barely beat me out last season 4-3. 4-3 in the barn burner that was. So
I had 2 or 3 though that were like I picked him to be an 8th. They were in 9th.
I went back and listened to that episode because I wanted to get the numbers correct. There was a lot of that, but there was also you got 4 right, I got 3 right. You and I got 4 wrong together. Like specifically a wrong team in 8th place. We both got the same team.
Nice.
Yeah. So we fucked up perfectly together, but couldn't be bothered to get any of the rest of it right. So with the worst players, this is for the whole season, we typically, unless something really stands out from the winter window, we kind of give them a whole season to establish themselves. And some of it can just be bad luck. Some of it could be they completely shit the bed. Some of it could be they got thrown out of football. That's a tell. So let's go ahead and get into it. Mr. Graham, I'm going to go first with my number 5, and you'll do 5, 5, 4, 4 down the way down. My number 5, it didn't help that he was hurt the entire season, but he didn't do shit really when he first came on. Mason Mount at Manchester United.
Yeah.
It should have been phenomenal.
You could argue it was a pretty poor signing. I don't know that he really fits whatever system Ten Hag's trying to play, but anyway, so I don't know that he's going to thrive when he is fit. But yeah, no, I could agree with that. I mean, I don't have any qualms with that issue.
Who is your number 5?
James Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, really? Okay.
Scored from a corner, 2 free kicks, and did fuck all the rest of the season.
Okay.
To the point where he wasn't being played a lot, even though he was fit. He was coming off the bench.
Had a ton of assists.
He had a few.
Okay. I put him in my honorable mention on the other end.
That's why I said we were going to fight about this one.
Oh, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
For a player that had that many goal involvements, that was that important to Southampton, to step into a bigger club, you would expect him to be a bit more important, but it seems as though he's proved that he's just a one-trick pony.
Okay, fair. You know what? You changed my mind on that one. I'll agree with you on that one and not consider him an honorable mention. I just felt he did the job he normally does, and he had to do it with a team that played even more defensive than Southampton did, so it made it a little tougher for him to be able to do more.
Yeah, I gotcha.
My number 4, would it surprise you to know that he was even still in the league? Adama Traore at Fulham. He was hurt, which he always is.
He scored a goal on the last day of the season.
And he runs up and down the field.
That's all he did at Wolves.
Yeah, but there was all that potential, right? Remember that beautiful, magical potential thing?
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, nothing. Just nothing at all. Who's your number 4?
Hard to argue that. James Maddison.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason I say that, and it's not just his fault, but I think because they don't really have strikers to finish chances, like Son's first full season being the main guy was very disappointing.
Okay.
James Maddison didn't exactly grab the game by the scruff of the neck himself, as you would have expected him to, because that's what he did do at Leicester.
I thought he did that at the start of the season until the injuries.
Exactly. And then what?
Yeah. Okay.
And Spurs finished in 5th.
Fair enough.
They had hopes of Champions League, and he didn't get them over the line.
Fair
like I said,
enough.
it's not just down to him.
Right.
But I think, I think there should have been a bit more, especially at the end of the season when he came back. Those last 6 games, dog shit.
Yeah.
Did not play well. And he had the chance to get them over the line and didn't do it.
Number 3 for me, Matheus Nunes going to City.
All 62 minutes he played.
Yeah, well, it was, they wanted Palhinha. Fulham wasn't going to give him up, and then it looked like he was going to go to Bayern, and it was like a last second, we need to have this guy go pull the trigger. It doesn't matter. And it can all be different next year because we see this all the time. People, their first season under Pep, it does not go well typically, and then it goes well after that. But I don't see it. I don't see it.
Same.
I think he might get loaned out.
I think it's a step too far for him, to be honest with you. He was great at Wolves. I think it's going to be a step too far for him to be. I'm completely agree with you.
Who's your number 3?
My number 3 also might. You'll probably like this one with Szoboszlai for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Between the injuries and I think only scoring 3 or 4 goals, I just didn't see anything really out of him for the level Liverpool needed to be at.
Fair.
I thought as collectively they overperformed, but I thought him individually, I thought Endo was better. I thought Alexis McAllister was better and more important than him, than Szoboszlai.
Yeah.
So, and after the injury, he just didn't do it for me. I wasn't super impressed by him with the price tag he came with and everything he was supposed to bring to the team. I just didn't see it, to be honest.
My number 2, Moises Caicedo. I felt for the price tag they paid, he did not perform at all and was actively hurting them in games where he was giving up goals for them.
Yeah.
And yeah, he got one at the end of the season, but for $100 million, the guy he was at Brighton and the guy he was at
Totally
Chelsea,
different. Yeah.
totally fucking. He even looked like he, frankly, put on a few and was out of shape. He didn't. looked like he got fat and happy and did not play well at all. I mean,
Yeah.
I really felt like he offered nothing.
Yeah.
Who was your
hear
number
you.
2?
My number 2 was David Fofana,
Okay.
the Chelsea loanee to Burnley.
Mm-hmm.
Scored twice that I can remember off the top of my head, and regularly wasn't being started by Vincent Kompany, especially when Lyle Foster came back.
Right.
What did he bring to the table to help their chances?
Nothing. A couple of
He
goals.
gave us one good joke that was borderline, to say the least, for me. And that was it. It just was pitiful.
So the only reason why Moises Caicedo was not number 1 for me is because Sandro Tonali fucking gambles on himself.
Yeah,
like,
fucking idiot.
And then while being busted, gets caught for gambling again.
Yeah, that I didn't hear. That's stupid. My number 1 was Moises Caicedo, for reasons stated.
Yeah.
I'm glad we both didn't let that 60-yard recency bias creep in. But I completely 100% agree with your Moises Caicedo reasons for including him in this list. He was my number 1. I actually crossed out an honorable mention for Austin Trustee here as well. Brought nothing to Sheffield United.
Nothing.
But anyway, I forgot Tonali was owned by Newcastle.
Yeah.
Or he would have made this list.
Tonali scored in the first couple of games, and then that was it.
James Ward-Prowse is the unfortunate recipient of me forgetting that Sandro Tonali was owned by a Premier League club.
Right. Yeah. And because they're not going to Europe, that is a contract they have to currently eat.
I think so.
That hurts.
It depends, because he was suspended for essentially would be a breach of contract. I'm sure there's something in there that says you can't do this.
Yeah, but it's
they
not
may not have to
but it's
pay
also
him.
not a sellable asset.
No,
so that's
correct.
not
But they may not have
PSR
to,
money.
But they may not have to pay him, though, is what I'm saying. They may not be losing his salary every week.
I'm sure Shore Billy is about to chime in. Mrs. Houston, what do you got for us?
How did you know?
Because we're talking Newcastle. Of course he was.
He said it wasn't. Again, the FA decided to apply their own charges.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All I know is
the election was stolen, too.
Mel's Italian player did not get in trouble.
No, he admitted to it. He was like, "Oh, whoa! I was poker betting. My bad. Here's my phone. Check everything out. Frisk me. Check my cavities. Everything's good."
And Tonali
sounds
went
like an
all
Italian. Check my cavities.
And Tonali went all family business, like, I work in waste management. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not talking to you.
That's just a payment to a construction company in Malaysia. Don't
don't
worry
worry
about it.
Don't worry about it. Nothing to see here.
Come over this way. Look over here.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about the better side of things. Our top 5. Mr. Graham, why don't you go with your number 5 first?
Ross Barkley.
Ross Barkley, very good.
I thought he was excellent for Luton. I thought he
was free. He was free.
At the end of the season, he was in with a shout for a backup midfield role for England. Yeah. There were a lot of pundits talking about he should be in this England squad because they don't know, is Kobe Mainoo too young? Who's going to partner Declan Rice? All these kinds of things. I think he was a phenomenal signing, and he applied himself brilliantly. He kind of dropped his ego, kind of just
did the job,
let everything go,
did the job,
and put everything into his football. I thought it was brilliant.
The main player of that team,
I thought it was brilliant.
Not just assuming the role was his.
I thought it was absolutely brilliant. So despite them being relegated, I thought he was a big, bright light for that team.
Why I put him in honorable mention was because ultimately they got relegated. Mel, you had something you wanted to add there or no?
Oh, absolutely. Because there's been a lot of chatter in the Villa group because apparently the rumor mill is already linking Ross Barkley with Villa. And of course, a lot of them are running their mouths. And I figured I'd bring that up and get your take on it.
He didn't fit with Emery. And so why would they, why he didn't use him at all? And he's got enough people in that position.
Who do you play with?
Barkley was with Gerrard, and then it was Emery after that when Gerrard got fired.
Ross Barkley played it
at Villa.
He
was on loan
briefly.
I don't even remember him at Villa.
I think he was
on loan from Everton.
He scored 2 in that 7-1 over Liverpool. Maybe it was 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
I think he was gone.
But I don't even remember that.
But between,
I think he was gone long before because it was Danny Ings that left when the new coach came in.
I would say them trying to bring back Zanillo, and they've got Emi Buendia healthy. They've got Tillemans, they got McGinn, Louis. And then with the kids, like with Ramsey And then the one kid they got from Middlesbrough who did so well at the end of the season. I don't see where Barkley would fit in.
Yeah, I don't know.
Even with them playing Champions League, I don't see where he would fit in.
I think there's other places he would fit in better, absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree with that. It doesn't change the fact that he was excellent for Luton, and I think
it would be a good fit for him, especially if Neto's gone. Wolves.
Yeah, fair.
He'd be a great fit at Wolves.
Get him in the Black Country as well.
He'd be fun. He'd be great there. My number 5, despite the injuries, the man still had over 30 goals in all competitions for Brighton, and it was the one thing we always said Brighton never fucking had. Yao Pedro scoring fucking goals.
Yeah, not a bad shout.
Yeah,
can't really argue with that for real. That's pretty good.
You know, it was and their decline. Yeah, their decline in performance was when he was hurt. I would say that was.
I would argue it's also Matoma, but yes.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Now, who is your number 4, Mr. Graham?
My number 4 is Cole Palmer.
Okay. Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, probably should be higher on this list because of what he meant it single-handedly getting Chelsea into Europe this season.
Foreshadowing, he's higher on my list, and he's on my list.
Yeah. I mean, he has to be. You know.
Scored.
He was excellent.
21 goals this season, 22 goals this season.
He was excellent.
Yeah, that was just in the Premier League. Yeah.
Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Because he was also a ton of penalties. But yes.
My number 4 started off at a rocky start. Nobody was happy to see him signed when he was signed. But you know what? He found a job and he did it really fucking well. Kai Havertz with Arsenal. He ended up having a really good, really good season.
Yeah. His demeanor is actually kind of similar to Cole Palmer. If you look at their body language, neither one of them look like they really give a shit.
Right.
So, but Havertz is taller and lankier, and it looks like he gives less of a shit than Cole Palmer does. But I thought he was phenomenal. I thought he mixed it up pretty well. He got kind of physical in some games. Whenever he was asked to do a job, he did it. Dropped into midfield. Played center forward, obviously, most of the season. Played on the left wing, played on the right wing from time to time. He did everything he was asked to do. I don't think you can ask for somebody to apply themselves any better. And he got goals. When Gabby Jesus came back from injury, Kai Havertz kept his place.
Yeah, exactly. Very much agree.
He brought a lot of balance to that front line and midfield kind of as a front six. And I thought he was phenomenal also.
Who is your number 3, Mr.
Kai Havertz, if you couldn't tell, because of all of the reasons just stated.
Yeah, he deserved it. Absolutely deserved it. My number 3, Mickey van der Ven.
He was in my honorable mentions.
Fucking phenomenal.
I wasn't going to put a Spurs player in
behind Saliba and Gabriel. He was the best center back in the league this season. The best.
Besides Ruben Diaz?
Yes, he was better.
All right.
He was better.
I think he fucked up more, but he's pacey enough to get back. So I think it's very similar to the Kyle Walker kind of bias. Kyle Walker's a good footballer, don't get me wrong. He puts himself in shit positions sometimes because he knows he can recover. I think Van der Ven did the same thing. I think he gambled a few times when he shouldn't have, but he's fast enough to get back. That being said, he's fast enough to get back, so he did. And you're absolutely right. He was in my honorable mentions for
I get it. You couldn't put a spur in there, you know. Hey, you notice in my honorable mentions there isn't even a Liverpool player, even though there's some Liverpool players that probably deserve to be there.
Yeah.
Mel, you look like you had something from the sewing circle.
Well, Taylor Thompson has a complaint.
Okay.
Cole Palmer gets a pass, and I get shit for Airwreck.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I just
100%.
I knew the answer already. I just wanted,
Taylor, you wanted me to say it, huh?
Taylor, pause the live stream. Walk into the bathroom, turn the light on, and look at yourself in the fucking mirror, all right? You can't be proud of yourself. Iraq. Get the fuck out of here.
Alrighty. Mr. Graham, that was you. Have you given your number 2 yet?
My number 2, I have not.
No, number 2 for you.
Jeremy Doku.
Yep, I don't disagree with that at all.
He was phenomenal.
I didn't put him in my honorable mentions, but I meant to. For me, he didn't play enough. Like, he played, but he was part of a rotation.
Yeah, but for a first-year Pep guy,
he did very well.
Jack Grealish for $100 million, essentially didn't play for the first 6 months.
Right. Yep. I'm with you.
Jeremy Doku has been coming off at least the bench, and the way he affected the game, I know it was a loss, but the only reason they scored a goal was because of Doku occupying Wan-Bissaka on Saturday. the manner in which he affects games when he comes on, he's always busy. He's always direct. He's great balance, decent finishing. Like he's a good fucking player, man.
Yeah.
And to walk into a City side, not walk in because obviously didn't start a huge amount of games, but to come into a City side, pick up the rotation, the system, the tactics, to pick up everything as quickly as he did, and to be pretty much the 12th man in his very first season for a majority, if not all of the season,
right,
is a phenomenal feat because Jack didn't do it.
Yeah.
Nunez couldn't get a sniff, really. He got, a couple of 3-minute cameos
Normally
and then played the last two
defenders
games.
are the only ones who really get a lot of playing time, and Rodri.
Right, straight off the bat.
And Holland, of course. 'cause
Right,
Holland got
right when
away.
he got signed, bang, he was right in the team.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was phenomenal. And as much as I hate City, he is a joy to watch because he's so direct.
My number 2 was Cole Palmer.
Nice.
He was the one person in the Chelsea lineup that was a signing that paid dividends and was worth every fucking penny you paid for him.
Yep.
It's the only one that was worth every single penny you paid for him. Everyone else you look at and you go, overpaid. And the fact that City was willing to let him go right at the deadline, you don't have him, you're not in Europe. You're probably not even in the top 10 if you don't have him.
Yeah, 100%.
Who is your number 1? I have a feeling his exact same number 1 as me.
Declan Rice.
Absolutely, positively. There is no doubt about it.
Rice. There is nobody that has ever been worth £100 million and paid it back immediately.
Yeah. And at that, a holding midfielder.
Come on.
Not
Everybody,
not a striker, not a marquee center back, just a holding midfielder, a guy who helps control the game. And damn if he didn't control every single game.
Everybody was amazed with his season for West Ham, right? Leading them to their first major trophy in however many years, blah, 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 blah. And he scored twice as many goals and had almost 3 times as many as assists this season.
Yeah.
He just literally walked in to the second place team in the league and improved them by at least 2 times, 3 times. Made them twice as good.
He'll be one of the captains next season with Odegaard. He'll be number 2.
Easily.
Yeah.
If Odegaard gets subbed off, Declan Rice is getting the armband. I could see him being at Arsenal for the rest of his career. Or at least until he gets too old to run.
I could see Declan Rice being the captain of fucking England one of these days.
No, easily. 100%.
He is
100%.
phenomenal.
When Harry Kane retires, my view, it'll be either Declan Rice or Jude Bellingham. Yeah.
He was worth every penny. He was phenomenal this year. He made your team incrementally better.
So
way better.
Besides Rice baby, right? Do you know what the other chain is? We got him half price. We got him half price. He's worth all the money. It's Declan Rice.
Love it. Very good. Very good. So honorable mentions. We already talked about Ward, Prowse, and Madison. You put them on your other list. Barkley, who was on your top 5. Chong was a signing for Luton.
Tahith Chong. Yeah, he was great too.
A good piece of business there.
And again, you could probably put them. They're in the gray area between the 2 lists, I think, Madison and JWP. Yeah. I thought for what they meant to their previous teams and the hype around them for signing for these 2 clubs, I thought they could have affected things a bit more, which is why I put them on the worst.
You wanted them to do what Declan Rice did.
Exactly.
Directly impact their club.
Not that much, but yeah. Absolutely.
A couple other names worth mentioning. Alenga going to Forest. He was
huge. He was huge. Yeah, you're absolutely right there.
Barnes, if he wasn't hurt so much throughout the year, but Barnes, like it was St. Maximin who?
Right. Harvey Barnes, yeah.
Harvey Barnes was great.
And even after, now this is where like James Madison and JWP fall short, right? Harvey Barnes was out for 3-4 months?
Came back, kept scoring.
Came back, scored 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
Had an assist the game after that. Right. Scored again in the 4th game. Like, he was just on it.
And then my final one for you, I think Solanke scores a lot of his goals because this guy's out there occupying space. Justin Kluivert.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Huge for fucking Bournemouth.
You're absolutely right.
Always massive for
always
Bournemouth.
Provided an outlet. Always willing to run, even if it was a dead cause.
Yeah.
Kind of what Ryan Fraser used to do for Bournemouth when Eddie Howe was in charge of them. Clivert was excellent. You're absolutely right.
He was on my list, and then as I just kind of like initially I put him right in at number 5. I was like, you know what? He deserves a shout as one of the top 5 signings. And then there was just so many good names to put in that I was just like, he's going to miss out. But damn if he doesn't deserve one hell of a shout, because he was massively impactful to what the Cherries did this season.
Yeah, completely agree.
All right, it's that time, Mr. Graham. See how wrong we got it. I need to get a pen here too. Mel, can you mind passing me a pen, please? To see how many I get right as well. All right, Mr. Graham, it is our predictions. Who did you have winning the league?
Who do you think? I had Arsenal.
And I had faith in you, my good man. I picked Arsenal as well.
Damn.
We got that both wrong.
That is a wrong. Obviously, it was Manchester City by 2 points.
I presume you had Manchester City finishing second. I had Manchester City finishing second. You had Liverpool finishing second?
I had Liverpool in second.
Okay.
Yep. 1-0 to you.
About to be 1-0 to me. In third place, I had Liverpool.
I had no, you had City in second, right?
I had City in second.
Oh, in second. Yeah. No, I had City in third, so I'm
had
out.
Liverpool, so I got a win there. So
Yep.
1-0 me. Fourth place. Sorry, Mel, I had Tottenham.
I had fucking Manchester United.
Wow, we both got that one wrong.
Yeah, they're fucking pissed it off.
And
I thought there was so much hype finishing the season the way they did last season. I couldn't believe that.
fifth place. I had Aston Villa.
I had Tottenham.
Oh, you got that one right. So it's
1-1,
1-1.
baby.
All right. In sixth place, I had Manchester United.
In sixth place, I had Newcastle.
Oh, missed it by
Nuki.
1.
Sure did.
Oh,
I thought there was going to be some hangover, but I thought they'd be able to get through it. I didn't foresee as many injuries as they had, but I knew they were going to fall off a bit.
Well, this isn't going to help you, because for number 7, I have Newcastle.
Shit.
2-1.
I had Villa in 7th. Same thing.
Yeah, very
I thought
good.
a bit of European hangover. Okay.
Yeah. Well, she's doing videos.
Just
You got to
zoom right
ignore the fucking camera. Just keep talking there, stud. It's just a fly on the wall. Who did you have for number 8?
The fly that landed on my forehead while she's flicking me off there.
Who did you have for number 8 there, sir?
In 8th, I had Crystal Palace.
Wow,
I
thought
thought they were going to be a bit better, but obviously with injuries to Eze and Elise, they didn't play together for 6 months. And Roy being Roy,
the team that's never finished in the top 10, you had them finishing 8th
yeah, because
place.
they finished the season before in a high, and I thought they were going to keep rolling. They just didn't.
I had Brighton, so we both got that one wrong.
Yep, because obviously it was Manchester fucking United
in 8th
their
place.
worst league finish in about 34 years.
Oh, 9th place. Who did you have?
I had Brentford.
Oh no, I got it right. I
Did
had
you?
West Ham United.
Fuck off. I
3-1.
think you wrote this today.
I did not write this today,
I
sir.
think you cheated.
I wrote this at the start of the fucking season. Trust me, you're about to see some fuck ups in here. Number 10, I had Chelsea.
Number 10, I had correct until Palace dispatched 5 goals on the final day of the season. As you'll notice, Crystal Palace finished in 10th on 49 points, which leapfrogged Brighton.
And that's who you had finishing.
I had Brighton in 10th. God damn it.
All righty. In 11th place, who did you have?
Again, prior to the final 4 weeks of the season, I also would have been correct. I had Chelsea.
Very good. I had Brentford.
Oof. Yeah, obviously that was Brighton because of what I just said.
Here's so this next one, I feel I deserve a half a point, because if it wasn't for the 8 points they were fucking deducted, Everton would have finished 12th place.
Yeah.
Look, that's where they would have finished. With goal differential, they would have finished in 12th place.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so no, obviously that one is wrong.
I had West Ham.
Very good.
I thought, again, selling Declan Rice, possible European hangover.
Yep.
I had him lower.
13th, I had Bournemouth.
So Bournemouth were in 12th, we should say.
Yep.
No, 13th place was Fulham. I had Forest.
Oh.
And I had Fulham in 14th, which also is wrong because that was Wolves.
I had a lot of faith in Vincent Kompany. I had Burnley in 14th place.
That's bad.
Yeah. And I had Fulham in 15th place.
Nice. I had Everton in 15th, and Everton were 15th.
Yep, absolutely.
Check mark, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
16th place, I had Forest.
I had Wolves in 16th. It obviously was Brentford, so we're both wrong there.
All right.
Now, here's the part that's going to annoy me from this point forward, because I had Burnley surviving by the skin of their teeth in 17th. They obviously did not.
I had Palace. I had no faith in Roy the Boy being able to take that team anywhere, and I figured guys would be sold by the winner.
Nice.
18th. Who did you have?
I had Bournemouth.
You had Bournemouth?
And I was right till about the 8th game of the season when Areola figured it out.
Right, and then they were fine.
And they were awesome the rest of the season.
Egg on my face, I had zero faith in Wolves. With not knowing who the coach was.
A lot of people thought Wolves was going down. Yeah.
I had no faith in Wolves at all. I'm glad to be proven wrong. They had a very good season, all things considering, I would say.
Especially the way they started. But as you said, Luton obviously finished in 18th.
Yep.
So
who'd you have for 19th?
Again, I told you I was going to be mad the rest of the way down. I should have known by the last time they were in the fucking league, but Sheffield United I had in 19th. They obviously finished in 20th.
That lets you know something, Mr. Graham. I had Luton in 19th place, which meant I had Sheffield United in 20th.
I had Luton Town in 20th, which obviously is wrong, and you were correct on the old Sheffield.
So before we get to the other predictions here, real quick, just count off. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 correct.
I've got 2 correct.
Wow.
So 2 to 4.
So now on the overall standings, we're actually even, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's right, yeah.
Or no, I might be
you might be ahead by 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, top scorer, I think we both got this one right. Erling Haaland.
Yeah. Check mark.
Okay.
Now here's where it's going to be Sammy catching up.
All righty. First coach fired.
I had Paul Heckenbottom.
Really?
And
okay.
he was.
He was, because barely nobody got fired.
Yep.
Yeah.
In December.
Forever.
And I was surprised to learn when I looked it up today, he lasted all the way to December.
Yeah. There was no one fired until December, and it was him.
That's me. Got it.
And there was only 3 coaches, I think, all day that were let go from their position. And mine was Roy Hodgson. I figured he was going to be gone by December. Like I had zero faith at all in that in the what's a facer. Dark horse, this is subjective, obviously. I have a feeling you're going to say Palace, and I give you credit for that one wholeheartedly.
I did write Palace down as a dark horse.
I absolutely give you credit for that. My dark horse, and I think I deserve credit for it too, because motherfucking Champions League, I had Villa.
Okay, yeah. I'll give you that. That's fair.
Even though they outperformed where I thought they would be, I still felt they were going to be in Europe.
That's what makes them a dark horse.
Yeah, precisely.
That's the definition.
FA Cup, I do it every single year, and I always get it wrong, and I'm going to write it down every fucking year till it's right. I picked Everton.
I'm telling you, I don't even want to say it out loud. Brentford. I don't know what I was thinking. Must have wrote these while I was drunk.
And League Cup you didn't do, but I did. I said City. You would have said.
I would not have said Liverpool.
Yeah, I
promise you I wouldn't have said Liverpool.
So I end up with 6, and you end up with
1, 2, 3, 5.
5.
So on aggregate, we're tied, but you win this year.
20, I think. Right? No, it was 1919 is what we're tied on.
Nice.
Possible 150 correct answers. We've each gotten 19 correct.
Yeah.
19.
Sweet.
Real
Sounds
quick,
like our sales goals.
Mr. Graham, would you go ahead and pull up your email real quick? Pat did chime in, and we were all wrong.
Oh, really?
We were all fucking wrong.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I did hit my Hail Mary to get just a touch above even for the end of the season, finished plus $92. Not too shabby considering I was close to $2,000 down during the middle of the season. Everyone have a great summer, and let's try and tee it up sometime before college football consumes my Saturdays again.
Very good. I love it.
Pat.
Yep. Yeah, so Pat ended up in first.
He won it, huh?
Yeah.
Good for him.
He beat me. So there you go. Mr. Graham, it's the end of our 6th season, man. Any parting words?
So tired. No, not really. Just, enjoy it. The one thing, as much as we all hate Manchester United, real quick, I did hear a lovely story. Mm-hmm. A gentleman was he was riding an escalator at Wembley wearing a Kobe Mainu top. And he was in the nice seats, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't wear football shirts in those seats. They wear collared shirts and suits and that kind of stuff. And somebody looked at him and go, "Oh, Kobe Maynard, is that your favorite player?" As they're walking out, and he goes, "Yeah, he is." He was like, "Oh, okay, great. You know, why? You know, what?" He goes, "That's my son." How fucking awesome is that?
Yes,
Love
that.
What a feeling that must be.
Great dad.
You know what I mean?
Oh my
what
God.
a feeling that must be.
Just look the rich
And obviously-
fucking posh fucker in the face and be like,
That's my son. And obviously, Kobe scored.
"Yep,
The second goal proved to be the winner.
yep."
Which is, it's just what a proud, good moment that is for him. You know what I mean?
yes,
That's pretty
absolutely.
fucking cool. More of that, please. But I mean, not from United, just in general across the league. More of that. But other than that, nobody was really dickish from what I saw
No,
over the weekend. I thought it was all games were played in good faith and everything was decent.
yeah. Producer,
Let's hope for another season like this next
Oh, you
year.
just unmute, I thought you had something for us.
Just in case.
All right, excellent. Well, then, if you all don't mind, obviously next up is going to be Injury Time, which we will be previewing the 2024 Euros, and we will be doing a recap show of the 2024 Euros for our Patreon subscribers because you give us money and we need to still keep giving you fucking content. Period. End of discussion.
That's exactly right. So if you want some of us over the summer, make sure you're signing up to patreon.com/DFootball Show and get Drunkards United Euro trip.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I just
Guess who's going to get my interview with Greg Garcia first?
Patreon.
No, I'm not giving it to them. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Of course you are.
Yep.
They got to pay an extra $10 though.
No. You get the unedited Greg Garcia interview.
The first night that we sat down in your house in Baltimore,
Get him to say cut.
we had a bottle of cognac between us, and we turned on the phone and we just started recording ourselves.
Yes, we did.
And what would we sound like, and how would it sound? And little would we know that 6 years later we'd still be going strong. We'd have an incredible fan base that supports us, people who support us financially that help it so that we're able to do this show. Means everything to me, and I just wanted to say to both my my esteemed co-host and to our phenomenal producer, it has been a pleasure doing this over and over and over, and I'm looking forward to the 7th season already as this 6th season ends, and this has been creatively the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life, and thank you for being a part of it and helping and being just being the awesome fucking people that you all are.
Oh, thanks, dude. A couple things I'd like to pick out of that. You can't praise her after the way she started today. That was terrible, first. Second, we collectively,
I've been so distracted. I'm
as
burnt out.
2/3 of this foul jamboree, have decided to not pick up your contract for the 7th season.
Okay. Okay.
Hiram's going to be sitting.
That's sure thing.
Are you not coming back?
No, him.
Oh, I'm like,
So
you have the
we have
fucking
decided.
tattoo. You're branded. Oh, yeah, we got rid of him. Oh, yeah, I didn't know we were telling him
No,
now.
I said we decided not to pick up his contract.
Oh, well, that's awkward to break it like here on the last.
If it's gonna be anything, at least it's on hot freshness. You know?
Most management wait until after the last game of the season.
Right.
When
Yeah.
the FA Cup win
No,
or
be like
something.
Louis Van Gaal. Walk in with the trophy. Get the fuck out, man.
Till next season, everybody.
Well, we'll see in a few weeks after you sign up for that Patreon.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Looks great in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Brooklyn United! Brooklyn United! Hit the fucking mute button!